everyone, it's me Nigo, and I have a new concept this time for a video. I'll be trying 3 different and unique kinds of adobo from around the Philippines. For those of you who don't know, adobo is a type of cooking process that is unique to the Philippines, where I come from, and involves the braising of meat, seafood, or vegetables in vinegar. It's the unofficial national dish of the country, and despite the name, has been around before the Spanish colonized the country. All About Adobo is a new series on my channel where I'll try different kinds of adobo from around the country and give you my reaction. If you guys want to give me an interesting adobo recipe from your region or even your home, please let me know in the comments and I might try it for my next All About Adobo video. This isn't your typical adobo. Filipinos love adding soft drinks to dishes, often to marinades for grilled meats, but I've never used it in an adobo. It's a common practice, as the acid within the drink helps to break the meat down, giving it a more tender texture. The recipe I'm using is from Panlasang Pinoy, with the link in the description below. I'm gonna start by searing my pork belly. I love doing this whenever I use pork belly in a stew, as it helps to add texture, flavor, and reduces the amount of chewiness in the pork. Then I'll add the garlic and mix it together with the pork and add the signature soy sauce and vinegar that most typical adobos have. After a while, I'll add some whole peppercorns and bay leaves. Then I'll add 3/4 cup of some good old Coca-Cola, not sponsored by the way, and the rest will make a nice drink for me to have while I eat this later. And now it's time to let it boil away until the pork is fork tender. The Coke adobo was interesting. The sauce has an almost syrupy-like texture to it, but you can't even taste the Coke. Just a mild sweetness that isn't overwhelming or cloyingly sweet. It was pretty good. My mom and sister really liked it too. Next, we have a recipe from Pylan's Kitchen, something I came across a few months ago and thought, what a great idea for an adobo. Coconut milk is a common ingredient in adobos, specifically in the South and Bicol region of the Philippines, and I feel like it adds a lovely, subtle sweetness that isn't immediately noticeable but adds a richness that can be savored nonetheless. Again, we'll sear our pork belly and use the leftover fat to add onions and garlic. I'm not a huge fan of onions in adobo. To me it's a big no-no, but I'll give this recipe the benefit of the doubt before judging it too harshly. I'm open to adobo of all kinds. Once sauteed, I'll add the coconut milk to deglaze the pot, then the soy sauce, vinegar, bay leaf, and black peppercorns. After that, I'll add the pork and just enough water until it barely covers the pork and let it simmer gently for 1.5 to 2 hours, or until tender. In the meantime, I'm going to caramelize my pineapple by adding a little oil to a skillet. Next, it's time to mix it all together and give it a try. This was really rich and aromatic. The coconut milk had basically boiled off and completely merged or emulsified into the sauce. That's good because I don't like adobos that are too creamy personally. And Pylan was right, searing the pineapples before adding them into the adobo made all the difference. Really recommend this one. For my third adobo, when you think of adobo, this isn't really what comes to mind for most Filipinos, but this is all too common for Cebuanos or the Bisaya people. I have Bisaya roots on my mother's side, and in Bisaya, this recipe is called Adobong Bisaya, pritong baboy, or Adobong Pinauga. I got this recipe from a book I desperately want but can't really find called Hikay, The Culinary Heritage of Cebu by Luella Eslao Alix. I hope I pronounced that right. I found the recipe online and it's essentially a dry adobo. It's also worth noting that there's no soy sauce in this recipe. We start by mashing the garlic and then placing our 4-inch pieces of pork into a wok or shallow pan, along with our other ingredients, and we basically boil it until it gets dry. After that, we'll add some cooking oil and then fry it until it's golden brown. I probably should have dried my adobo first before frying it because the oil splatters were absolutely insane. And here it is, Adobong Pinauga. I haven't had dry adobo too many times in my life, maybe one other time, and I didn't really like it, but I wish there was a quantity in the recipe for the amount of salt I needed because I would have added a bit more personally. And I probably would have used a stronger vinegar like coconut vinegar, which is often used by the Bisaya anyways, in order to bring out that signature vinegary flavor. Now with all 3 recipes I'm showing and probably in future videos, I just know I'm probably gonna have people up in my comments like, this isn't a real adobo, or like, this is not how my lola makes it. But the thing is that adobo is different wherever you go, from region to region, and even from household to household. everyone makes it different, so there's no such thing as an authentic adobo, technically. Personally, for me, I don't like onions in my adobo, and I don't like it too creamy. But that's not going to make me say that any adobo recipe with onions that's too creamy isn't authentic. There is no one standard or authentic adobo that represents the country, and I think that's beautiful. The diversity in each of our recipes makes our cuisine all the more interesting and colorful, and I hope it continues to stay that way. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you get to try some of these recipes at home. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.